So when we say, are you ready? Everywhere you'll be like, oh, yes. Right? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, yes. I need this side to participate. Are you ready? Oh, yes. Thank you so much. The first session is going to start with the slideshow of pictures. So I invite everyone to have their attention, and we are starting at 1:20 sharp. Thank you so much. Now, we get to another exciting part of our event. Let us join our hands and welcome Amani Njoki.
Good afternoon, one and all protocols observed. I am Amani Njoki, all the way from Kenya, here to represent Decarbonize, a multitude of students from around the world, and the 50 global students here with us for climate training in the UAE. And together, they've drafted a poem stating what Decarbonize means to them. Decarbonize is a place where I feel seen and respected, a place where I belong, a place where youth can go to amplify their own voice. Decarbonize is children echoing the call. Decarbonize is a rogue fight and the change. It's the opportunity we have to prioritize and act upon. It's the way to achieve positive change in our life and our environment. It's the child's resilience from a future they don't want to live in. It's the necessary concrete actions. It's the legacy of youth and their paths. It's the better future for all. It's perseverance. It's the feeling you're doing something worthwhile. It's the change needed in society. It's the need to do the actions you should do. It's the group that will make the earth smile and happy. Decarbonize is the way we connect our thoughts and how we manage to get it across. The way we work out pollution by coming up with solutions. Decarbonize is the fight and the change. It's the opportunity we have to act and achieve a positive change in our life and environment. Decarbonize is the pledge we make, all for Earth, for nature's sake. In the dance of leaves and the ocean's way, sustainability guides our everyday. Decarbonize is you, decarbonize is me, him, her, they, them, and we are all decarbonized. Thank you.
Are you ready? My name is Faustini Kazeshimo, and I'm from Rwanda, and I'm with my sister,
Priyanka Mishra from the Bas Scouts and Guides, India.
We are WAGGG's Climate Advocacy Champion. We are very happy to welcome you in this event, organized in partnership of the World Association of Girl Guide and Girl Scouts, Take It Global, and World Vision. But before we start, let me give it to my sister.
Having any exercise, I just want to share a story which is full of adventure. When I was 10 years old, I was the naughtiest girl in my school. I don't want to study, even don't want to see science, mathematics, but now I am a mathematician. Because I cracked the India's highest and toughest exam because of my parents and the Bharat Scouts and Guides India's unwavering support and guidance. But along with this journey, there are lots of girls with me. They are disproportionately affected by climate crisis. They bear the brunt of climate-related disaster, flood, sexual harassment, flood, food shortage, water scarcity. As a woman, I've always believed that gender equality is not just a social issue. It's an environmental imperative. Girls need to be more empowered, more to be educated, more to be protected, more to be supported, to stay resilient in the climate crisis. So, we have an exercise. We have some questions with you all to ask. If you agree with it, raise your hand. If not, don't raise. So, are you guys ready?
Oh,
yeah, yes. Now.
Okay. Do you know any program of climate solution focused on children? If you know, you raise your hand. Let's see who know any program. Oh, very impressive. It's okay if you don't even know. Can we move to the second question?
How do you think children and youth can contribute to climate solution?
Do you think they can contribute through just wait. Can you please lower your hands again? I'm just giving you options for these ones. So do you think children can contribute to climate solution through project design or through implementation of projects? Which one do you agree? Through project design and project implementation. Project implementation, you remain still. Project design, you raise your hands. Do you think, let us repeat,
if you know both, you can do it.
Okay, the last one. This is going to be an open question. We are going to have 2 people to answer. We want to hear from you. So, how can you help include children and youth climate solutions? If you feel like you can share your thoughts in not more than 30 seconds, yeah, you can raise your hand. Let's see who wants to go first from this side and that side. Oh, yes.
Yeah, sure.
There's the microphone there. The microphone there. Oh.
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe that we can help include children and youth on climate solutions, but first ensuring that they're in the room whenever these discussions are being made, and whatever the opportunities that they are part of it, right from, like design all the way. Thank you.
Let's give her flowers. Yes, thank you. Anyone from this side? We want to see you, sweet kid. Yes.
Yes, sure.
I think we can help include children and youth on climate solution by equipping young people with skills for life so that they can, for example, design a project for a green education. And also, one of the things for helping them is to support young people and children. Also, providing all the necessary that young people need to create a better world.
Flowers to him. Thank you so much. That was it for the introduction. And now, we are very excited to present the person who's going to follow. Let us join our hands to welcome Vania Febrianti.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you feeling? Oh, thank God you're all feeling good. I hope you're not sleepy because it's this afternoon. People usually sleep. Well, today I will be your moderator. I'm Vania Winola. I am a woman. I am a children. I am from Indonesia, and I am from Decarbonize. Today, we unite to shine a spotlight on one of the most crucial aspects of our society: children and youth as meaningful contributors to climate solution. And in this space, we aim to amplify the voices that advocate for equality, opportunity, and the rights for every woman and child. Okay, so I am joined with 3 amazing panelists that I hope you will all be motivated with. So the first, we have Sautra, an advocacy champion, World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts from Madagascar. Amazing. And second, we have Ms. Hella, a youth advocate from World Vision International from Iraq. And third, we have Eliana Tabwai, a Decarbonize Global Lead student from Australia. Okay, how is everyone feeling here? How is the panelists feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling okay? Oh, thank God you're okay. Okay. Well, we need to get to know with our panelists, of course. So while you're introducing yourself, please can you share your experience with climate change or your thoughts about it? So let's start off with Ms. Sautra, then Ms. Hella, and Ms. Eliana.
Okay.
You can stand.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm Sautra. I come from Madagascar, and I'm here to represent 9 million of girls, members of the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. So, as I am Malagasy, Madagascar is among the most vulnerable countries to climate change. And in Madagascar, we eat mainly rice. So, during the 3 last years, there was rain delayed, and it was affecting the agriculture and the rice planting in my country. For my family, we struggled because it was not easy for us to cultivate in all our lands. And it was affecting our food securities and our finance security. Fortunately, in my family, we help each other, and we have a diversified source of incomes and we survive. But it's not the case for everyone. For example, in the south of Madagascar, drought paralyzed agriculture, and people are in deep poverty. And in this way, they are obliged to be displaced or to stop their children education and then to push their daughter to early marriage. And the reason is why they don't have any support in their needs to face this climate crisis. So that's why we need to take action to help them to face their situation. Thank you.
Amazing. Wow, we really need to take actions for every nature that we find. Okay, next, can Ms. Hella please introduce and answer what is your experience and what is your thoughts about climate change?
Hello everyone, my name is Hella. I am 22 years old and I'm from Iraq. I'm also representing World Vision as a youth climate advocate at COP28. As a young woman, I appreciate the opportunity to participate in the COP28 conference to discuss the effect of climate change on youth of Iraq and talk about our concerns. You might only be hearing my voice today, but it represents many youths of Iraq who are facing the impact of climate change on a daily basis. So I would like to share with you my personal story. My family owns a beautiful farm that contains many trees that carry fruities, such as figs, grapes, apple, apricot, pomegranate, and also we have olive trees. In the past, we produced many fruits, but in this year, because of dryness of wells, we couldn't water the trees as needed. The wells ended up dry because we didn't have much rainfall last winter season. And as a result, some of the trees in our farm dried out and sadly died. So my family thought about what to do for our trees. We had to buy a water to irrigate the trees so that will be survives. So my family paid for the water to irrigate the trees, which can be very costly when done on a regular basis. And on top of this, we need a truck to move water back and forth to our farm, right? So, and this have a negative effect, carbon emissions in our area. Today, we only have pomegranate tree and olive tree that survives in our farm. My family, especially my father, feels so sad when the trees died because he planted some of these trees himself and watched them grow over the years. We all feel really helpless. Losing the trees was like losing a member of our family. So this is the story of my family farm, but it's not unique to me. It's a story of many farmers and many families in Iraq who are facing similar issues because of the raising heads, dust storms, and droughts. So yeah.
Wow, such an inspiring story. Wow. Now, move up next, please, Ms. Eliana. Can you introduce yourself and can you tell us about your experience and your thoughts about climate change?
Hi, my name is Eliana Tabuai. I'm an Indigenous Australian woman. I am also a child. My thoughts on climate change. I think climate change is a significant issue that needs to be addressed. It's important for us to take action as youth voices are bringing fresh perspectives, innovative ideas, and a strong passion to change. In 2021, in my local community in Australia, we had a cyclone that had destroyed one of many landscapes. Losing this landscape meant more than it just being destroyed. It was like I lost a part of me. As an Indigenous Australian, I have a strong connection with the land and the ancestors that walked alongside beautiful landscapes like this before me. I have seen families and elders sit and cry as they see that the local landscapes were being destroyed. This is one of many reasons why I'm here sharing on behalf of my Indigenous people. This is how powerful climate change is.
Wow. Everyone, did you hear all of those stories from Ms. Saucha, Ms. Hella, and Ms. Eliana? That all of the stories are based on daily basis. So climate can actually change how we act daily. And that's really dangerous for us. Now, this is related to the second question. Can you share your positive action? Like, who is your organization? What do you do? And how do you feel when you face challenges and barriers while doing positive action for climate change?
Thank you. So, regarding the impact of climate change, and as a girl guide, I have decided to take action for climate. So, in World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, we have a program named Girl-Led Action on Climate Change. And this program aims to educate girls about climate change and about gender. And secondly, this program aims to give the opportunities for girls to take action in their community. For example, for me, with my team, we have implemented a project about school gardening. And we have trained 100 girls to implement 5 school gardens in 5 schools in Antananarivo in my country. And after that, they duplicate these gardens in their own places. And the last but not the least, this program aims to train girls to do advocacy campaigns, like here at COP28, to talk about the climate change related to gender and the education for girls. And we see that young people, children, can do something, can do more impact if we are feeling more empowered. Thank you.
At my organization, we are working for persons with disabilities, so we link it between climate change and persons with disabilities. For example, planting the trees. And at my university, we organize activities every year to clean our college from plastic materials so that they can be recycled without causing any harm to the environment. And we create banners to raising awareness among the students so that they can understand that the impacts of discarded plastics can have of the natural environment. And we also conducted presentations for the students to raising awareness about climate change and its impacts in Iraq. So many of them shared their fears and concern with us, as they could not temperatures rising around them and also have affected everyone's health. For example, many of the students who are suffering from the asthma period last year could barely breathe during the sunstorm effects. And these have affected their health as well as, of course, their educations. So at the same time, we campaign cleaning the streets and gardens. We faced some challenge when many of the students didn't actively participate in the cleaning the camps and recycling plastic materials. And another issue is that when we cleaned the camps, the area became dirty again within a few days. So to address this, we decided to increase a frequency of awareness campaigns among the students through the workshops on a number of topics such as recycling and climate change preventions. But the most importantly, we should start at the school, teaching the kids to take care of the environment, and that help them to love nature and respect public places, and building a foundation for future generation when it comes to the climate action. Thank you.
I'm a part of an organization called Decarbonize. Decarbonize is the world's largest multilingual school-based program in climate change education and art and action. We include 6 continents, 75 countries, 100 schools, tens of thousands of students, and hundreds of thousands of hours in collaboration. In Australia, there are many mining areas, which mean which means there are large open spaces. This means native plants and native trees are gone and they're destroyed. This also leads to natural habitats being destroyed and animals being forced out of their homes. In my community and in my culture, we believe that giving back to Mother Earth is a sign of saying thank you because they give to us. She gives to us, sorry. Every year in my community, we pick seeds from around the area, from the native trees, and we give them to a company that regrows all native trees in the old mining sites. I joined Decarbonize because of the past experience and to get more Indigenous voices, women empowerment, and youth voices into the world. I am a woman, I am Indigenous, I am a child, I have a voice, and I'm here to use it. Thank you.
Such an inspirational story from everyone. You know, one thing that I realized from all of these stories, every single thing that they do is actually every small thing that we did in our daily basis, like recycling, growing trees. But you know what's special and what's impactful is that they did it together. They did it in one organization that makes a huge impact in our world. Now, I have one last question that I guess everyone can relate here. And please, can you share with the panel, how can they support you? How can they support your organization? And how can they support your initiative like yours Thrive? Like, what are your demands and what do you ask from all of people around the world?
Thank you. So, as we know, everyone can be affected by the climate crisis, but everyone can take action. Even if we are young, we can do something. But we need knowledge, we need courage, and we need space to take action. So we ask the government, the leader, and the decision makers here at COP28 to support us, support the education, even if in formal education and non-formal education, support children, support youth, support girls. Thank you.
World Vision, the organization that I'm representing today, has published a recent climate change study in Iraq, which is focusing on children and youth. The study has shown that the effects of climate change can create a strong emotional reaction in children and adolescents. For example, many young people, such as myself, feel so sad or angry about climate change. This is not surprising because more than 99% of children and youth who took a part in this study reported experiencing higher temperatures, and more than 85% of them reported experiencing drought. And these direct impacts of climate change can also affect their health, livelihoods, and educations. On the other hand, these feelings can also encourage youth to get involved to fight climate change at the community level. It's up on us to make a change. Another things that this study found is many young people believe that local government, world leaders, should listen to the children and youth's concern. Because, as I mentioned, we are representing a future generations. And we hope that world leaders listen to the children and youth's concern at COP28 and take them to the consideration when developing and implementing their policies on climate change. And my message is that the time for bold action on climate change is now. It's time to build a legacy that safeguards our planet for future generations. And it's time to say enough. As a youth, we are ready to stop climate change. So, are you with us? Yes. Thank you.
To support Decarbonize, I encourage everyone just to take the time to read our manifesto and simply share it with each other. Please promote climate change, a climate education in your countries. Also engage in dialogue with your schools because youth voices are very important. Thank you.
Amazing. Everyone, take your action for climate now. Did you listen to that? Take your action for climate now. You can actually scan this barcode for our manifesto. Thank you. Well, for this closing, unfortunately, we're at the end of our event. Well, I have a closing statement for everyone. I hope you all open your ears, and I hope you won't get sleepy. As we leave here today, let's carry forward the spirit of empowerment. Let's turn the knowledge gained and the connection made into actionable steps within our communities. Each one of us holds the power to make a difference, whether it's through advocacy, support, or simply spreading awareness. Remember, empowering women and nurturing our children isn't just a one-day affair. It's a continuous effort that demands our ongoing commitment and collaboration, like these three amazing speakers that are here. Please give applause. Okay, everyone, get it? I have one last message. Take your action now for climate because it's getting hotter and hotter right now. So, thank you everyone for listening to our amazing speakers, Ms. Sautra, Ms. Hella, and Ms. Eliana, and I'm Vania, your moderator, and thank you everyone.
Let's give a round of applause to this panelists and the moderator one more time. And now, let us welcome another young woman. Yeah, Madina.
Hi everyone, my name's Abiha, as we all know now. Now we're gonna move on to a quick icebreaker, and you're gonna see why it's significant after we're done with it. I know we've been sitting for a while now, so can everyone please stand up for me? Thank you. Okay, amazing. Now, your job is super, super simple. All you have to do is listen to my instructions. First of all, stay standing if you have heard the term climate change or global warming in K-12 school, or if you've heard it in school in general, or when you were in school. Okay, we lost a few people actually. Okay. My next point, stay standing if you know about the impacts of climate change or global warming. Stay standing if you know about the impacts of climate change or global warming. No, if you're down, you're staying down. Yeah. Okay, so all of us know, that's great. Stay standing if you were taught the specifics of climate change processes in science class when you were in school. Oh, we still have a few people standing, good. Oh my God, we lost almost everyone. Okay, stay standing if your school has taught you how to take action to reduce climate change. Yeah? Okay, pretty good. Oh. Okay, stay standing if you were taught about NDCs and their impacts in schools. We're out, we're done. And my last point for no one standing, I was gonna say, stay standing if everyday citizens in your country are educated on your country's NDCs. And I think we all can stay down for that one. Okay. So what did we learn from this activity? Judging by the amount of people sitting down or the fact that everyone is sitting down, I think we have all come to a collective realization that there is a lack of climate education and awareness within our school systems. Some of us sitting down might not even know what an NDC is, I saw some of your faces, and let alone be able to explain its significance and importance. You might remember me saying at the start of this activity that this activity was going to be significant, and I hope you can see why now. Perhaps in a few years' time, when climate education increases, so does the amount of people standing here today knowing confidently what an NDC is and being able to say that climate education is a big part of their school curriculum and their lives in general. Thank you so much. Now, please help me welcome Medina from the Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts in Tanzania. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? I'm Medina Kimaro from Tanzania, representing the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. And I am here in front of you all to introduce a very, very important person. In my country, maybe in most countries as well, this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I would like to bring to you this important person. He has a master's degree in environmental protection and management from Edinburgh University and a PhD in climate change and sustainable development from the University of Dar es Salaam. But most of all, he is the climate advisor to the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Please join your hands and let's bring Dr. Muyungi here on stage.
Thank you. You want to speak from here?
Yeah, it's okay if you want us to speak from here. So, you know, yeah, you can, if you want to.
I can
okay, no problem.
We'll be together.
Yes. With WAGGGS, when we were doing the GLAC program, we were looking for decision makers from the grassroots level. And so standing here in front of you today with the advisor of the president is a huge achievement for me. So I have 6 questions here with me today. And I'm only going to ask him 3 questions. But I would like to give you the floor to choose from question 1 to any number from 1 to 6. And the number that you select is the question that I'm going to ask him. So you can raise your hands and I'll, okay. Number 4. Number 6. Number 1. Okay, thank you so much. So, Dr. Richard Muyungi, first of all, before I ask you the questions, I would like to thank you and your team for coming here today. I understand, and we all understand that decision makers are very busy people. And being here with us today is, you show us the commitment and the passion that you have to ensure that young people are included in the fight against climate change. And even in our country, Tanzania, we saw how you ensure that young people will get the chance to come to COP since Queen Samia, and today we are here and you're supporting us all the way. Now, I'm gonna ask you our 3 questions, number 1, 4, and 6. So, why do you think it is important to include children and youth in climate action?
So, thank you very much. Thank you indeed for the invitation. See, policymakers are very busy, but if what we are doing does not reflect of what you need as young, as youth, we are doing nothing. See, in the next 40 years, I will not be here. You'll be here with your grandchildren. So to me, that makes a huge difference. If we talk about the net zero by 2050, when we talk about the NDCs by 2030, when we talk about missing out on the emissions, when we talk about missing out on the funds, literally, we are betraying you. This is what we are doing. We are betraying you because this is your future. Climate change is not hoax. Climate change is real. Climate change is happening. There is a lot out there in terms of science. The IPCC is giving reports after every 4 years. We have researchers, scientists this is a challenge which is engulfing us as old people, but much more impacting you as young people. So for me, my engagement in the policy decision-making processes cannot be complete if I don't want to hear from you, to understand you, to understand what you need, and also want to understand what you want to take forward. And this comes from my president herself, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan. She's mobilizing about 500 youth to understand climate change. We have started with 100. We call them Green Samia. 30 of them are here to push us from the government support, actually. 30 of them have been supported by my government to come here. So this shows how serious the government is about the youth, about the future, about climate change. This is climate change, this is your future. This is why we believe that climate change cannot be solved if you don't hear your voices, if you don't push us to do more. And it's not a joke, you need to push us in the real sense, because otherwise we are not doing much. And I'll tell you a true scenario where we are as a global community. We have 7 years to go to 2030. Emissions have increased by 11%. They were supposed to be reduced by 43%. We have 7 years to go to where we have to be in terms of NDC's implementation. Resources have dwindled almost by half rather than increasing. And we are talking about the sources from the NDCs. You do not talk about the trillions needed to address the real challenge. So if you have no money, emissions are increasing, this is a real catastrophe for the world and a real catastrophe for you as young people. So for me, the first question, engaging the youth is not just an issue of what the government wants to do, but must be a priority for all governments, because we need you to push us to do more.
Let's push them. Wow, I'm glad I just heard it straight from you. Let's push decision makers to do more. Let's push decision makers to ensure that they're working with young people, because we are all living in one world. And if it's about achieving a green, a just, and a sustainable world, it means we have to work together. And so, young people, let's push decision makers. And my second question is, what measures is Tanzania, because we're here representing Tanzania, taking to protect vulnerable communities from the effects of climate change, like climate displacement of girls and young women?
Thank you. This is, again, a very important question. One of the things we are doing now, and through the group I just talked about, is first to put a framework in place so that the youth can understand what they need and what measures we think we should put in place to support them. We have various strategies at a national level. We have a ministry dealing with the youth. And this is very important for us, because through the ministry, through the strategies that we have in place, we do now understand their vulnerabilities and how best we can chart out strategies to support them. And the vulnerabilities are increasing. 2 days ago, my president launched the very, very innovative program, the clean cooking support to African women as a gender-responsive just energy transition. Why? Because you understand better than I do in terms of the African women and children and youth vulnerabilities in terms of fetching firewood, in terms of the time spent, not at school, but everywhere else to ensure that they get a meal, the time spent doing that work, which the time is robbed from you to go to school. So this is the urge of my president. These are some of the issues she wants to promote from the Tanzanian level to the African level. So the strategies we are using at the national level to protect the gender, to protect the youth, protect the children are now being elevated. And this is why Tanzania is championing this to ensure that Africa now becomes one of the areas which considers seriously the vulnerabilities and ensures that we have strategies to address them not at a Tanzanian level, but at a continental level and even beyond. Okay?
Now,
last one.
Last question. Is your country including children and youth in climate negotiations? And if yes, how are they doing it?
You must answer this question. Because, as I said, this has been our priority, and this is the priority of my president, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, in terms of engaging the youth. As I said, it's not a one-time issue. It's going to be continuous. We have 30 of them here. And what we are doing is really to go with them all around. In fact, I have all of the 30, at least 8 following me where I go, so that they can understand. And I have to, one is there, actually. I came with her. And where are they? And the second one was here. So this is follow me so that they can understand what we do and learn, because it's not about bringing them here, but also making them engage in the negotiations, understanding what we are doing, and then pushing us to do better, also to listen to them, to understand how better we can engage so as to help them. So the 30 youth we have here is not a one-time show. It's going to be a sustainable and a continuous agenda of my government.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And that's where we say, not here, I have to. That's where we say it's not only about involvement, but it's also about inclusion. And young people in Tanzania, I'm from Tanzania as well, we are involved and we're included here. And you can see it from Dr. Muyongi today. And aren't you people jealous of me? It was not easy. It was not easy. He's a decision maker. He has a lot of tasks. I've been reaching out since October. And so this is December and we made it. And so Dr. Richard Muyongi, I hope that you reach out to all other decision makers that you are in contact with and tell them to be just like you. Tell them that I supported a young person today and more young people here. They should also do the same. We need more decision makers like you, and we need more youth champions. And so thank you so much for the commitment, for the passion, and the determination that you're showing in this fight. And thank you, everyone else.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I would like to welcome Faustine to the stage.
Thank you so much, Madina and Doctor, for their interesting conversation. And now we are going to see climate champions from the audience. And this is how we are going to do it. We all have climate stories. We all have the things that we have done to face or to tackle climate crisis out there in our countries, in our organizations. So I'm going to give a speech of 30 seconds to 2 people. Yeah, it means you're having 1 minute. So tell us your story, your climate story in your country, in your organization. And yeah, we need to hear from young people. Yes, get involved. You're not vibrant as you should, right? Yeah, and who wants to go first? Yes. You can come, yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Emanuela Dorin Kofi from Ghana, and I'm a 24-year-old lawyer and a climate change activist. And my story is simple. I started advocating for climate change through volunteering with organizations, and now I'm into climate negotiations. Talking about youth in climate negotiations, I think it's very key for young people to be in the room. So it's a pleasure being here. And aside that, I'm also keenly promoting clean cooking fuels and technology in my country by using biofuel gels to cook. So that is what basically I'm doing, and it's a pleasure being here, meeting all other young women promoting climate action. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Karen Kimani. I'm 11 years old. I'm an environmental ambassador and voice of the children. I speak up for the children, for their voices to be heard, and I also let the leaders know that we the children are the most vulnerable, and we the children are going to live more on this planet than the adult. And I do planting trees with my environmental club and also with my environmental club in my school. We go to school after school planting trees, and I have planted over 13,000 tree seedlings. Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Karen Kimani.
You're from which country?
Kenya.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have now climate champions. I know if we give more speeches to you, we are all going to be climate champions. Thank you so much for sharing your climate stories. And now we are going to welcome one more important person. He was recognized with the Rights Livelihood Award in 2018 for his work with the method of reforestation known as a farmer-managed natural regeneration. His influence from promoting at grassroots community level through to advocating among global decision makers has resulted in this simple, low-cost, scalable method of reforestation, changing millions of lives. He was also an agriculturalist and missionary in the Republic of Niger from 1981 to 1999, where he oversaw long-term natural development and contributed to transformation in how Nigerians farm. And now, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Tony Rinaudo, the Principal Natural Resource Advisor for World Vision International.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure and even an honor for me to be here and share with you. In the language that we spoke in West Africa, they had a saying, Yara, Manyango Bene. The children of today are the decision makers of tomorrow. So it is indeed a great honor to be here. And I want to appreciate the panel speakers and the other speakers today. And indeed, all of you in the audience, you've chosen not to be victims, but rather you're actively addressing the major problems, including climate change, that we all face. And I congratulate you on that. As a boy, climate change wasn't a thing back then the way it is today, but I still very much identify with the voices of the young people of today. We didn't know so much about climate change back then, but there was deforestation, toxic chemicals in the land, in the rivers, in the air, and pollution, both in my own home district and on a global scale. And so as a boy, I felt anxious, I felt angry that the adults were doing this to us, but I also felt very, very frustrated because I didn't feel I had a voice and I didn't feel that adults were listening to us anyway. What to do? I just said a simple prayer, please use me somehow, somewhere to make a difference. And that prayer launched me into a life of trying to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Children don't live in a bubble. Everything that a child needs for growing up, and indeed everything that all of us need, comes from the environment. We need the environment for the air we breathe, fertile soil, food, water, fuel, building materials, and simply for the beauty that it brings and the peace of mind. We don't live in a vacuum. Even very young children, I'll just give you a minute to read that for yourself. Even very young children sometimes display much, much greater wisdom and insights than their elders. And I was very impressed by this young boy from Senegal. Land degradation and climate change affect everyone, but they affect women and children and the disabled most of all. It affects our food security, our water supply, where we get our fuel from, or even if there is any fuel, families forced into marrying off their girls too early because they simply can't afford to live. Land degradation and climate change are also associated with conflict and outmigration. So it causes so much poverty and so much suffering. World Vision is promoting at large scale, a restoration technique called farmer-managed natural regeneration. So it's not tree planting, it's certainly complementary to tree planting, but it involves primarily working with what's already in the landscape. And I won't go into the details, there's a QR code there, you can read how it works for yourself, but basically it's low cost, it's rapid, and it's scalable, and it empowers people to use what's already at their disposal and to create that future that they want for themselves and their children. In the country that I lived in, Niger Republic, over a period of 20 years, this method, FMNR, spread at the rate of 250,000 hectares per year. And at the end of that period, there were some 200 million trees that had regenerated, so not planted, and that was spread across 5 million hectares. We applied the same principles in Ethiopia, this time not on agricultural land, but on community forest land. And what we witnessed was the land is being rehydrated, biodiversity is returning, and livelihoods are being restored. And I've had the wonderful privilege in my role with World Vision. I've introduced this concept into perhaps 28, 29 countries, and what I witnessed is what had been this downward spiral of degradation, poverty, and despair has reversed into an upward spiral of restoration, relative prosperity, and most important, hope. You can't address climate change and the multiple other issues that we face without hope. And so farmers are growing more and different types of crops and livestock, and they're much more resilient to climatic shocks because there's more diversity in the landscape. I just want to encourage you as young people to never despise your youth. And I have a feeling you don't actually need that encouragement from me because you're already very, very active. But World Vision works with youth, and they're playing a critical and a powerful role in fighting climate change and land degradation, both directly in their schools and in their homes, but also indirectly, and this is where children are so powerful, influencing the behaviour of their families and the wider community. So the effect that you can have, even as an individual, is potentially enormous. The statistics can be very depressing. I'll just give you half a minute to read that for yourself, and maybe you're already familiar with some of those figures. Globally, there are more than 3 billion hectares of degraded land. And that could be very, very depressing, but I just want to turn that on its head. The word wasteland doesn't exist in my dictionary. I only see potential land. And so potentially we have 3 billion hectares capable of some level of restoration that will simultaneously fight climate change and poverty once we act to restore it. So enormous potential despite the tragedy of what's already been lost, it's not really lost if we take action to reverse it. World Vision, to that end, World Vision has taken a very large stance. Let's restore 1 billion hectares of degraded land worldwide. Even though World Vision is a very large organisation, we can't do that alone, so we're happy to do it within our own programs, with and through others. And so I invite you all to join us and to do your part in your corner of the world as well. And I just want to finish up with a word of encouragement. I see, as I travel around the world and speak in many places, I see too many young people who are despairing. They feel it's too late to do anything about climate change, and some have even given up. About 400 years ago, a guy called Augustine wrote these words, and it's quite beautiful. He said, "Hope has 2 beautiful daughters, and the name of the first daughter is anger." And I remember that little boy that I was angry at what the adults in my world were doing. Anger at the way things are, the injustices, the things that are wrong. But the name of the second daughter is courage. Courage not to leave those wrong things as they are. Courage to get up and do something about them and change them. And it gave me this thought, I think a lot of us think, some people are just lucky. Hope magically falls out of the sky and lands on their shoulders and they've got hope. I don't believe it works that way. We make hope happen by our actions. And so my encouragement to you is, make hope happen by what you do, by your actions. And do that with the things that you're passionate about, do it with all your heart, and go into the world and make it a much, much better place to live in. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining this session. Because we are youth, you are an advocacy champion, so I need 2 volunteers. So I just want to end up our session with a song, energetic song. Are you guys ready? Yes. Please come. Ma'am, please come. Yeah, sure. One, please. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Now I'm doing an activity. Okay, you just see me what I'm doing. After that, we all are doing the same. Are you guys ready? Okay. Just see. We are climate warrior. Just do. We are climate warriors. Warriors. We are climate warriors. Warriors. Done? So please, guys, stand up. And we are doing the same. Okay? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go! We are climate warriors. Warriors. We are climate warriors. Warriors. We are climate warriors. Warriors. Thank you so much, everyone. And now, we have a family picture. Are you guys ready? So please come and join the family picture. Let's come.
I think we can have our panelists seated there, and then Mr. Tony and the moderator, and then others. You are going to go behind. A fun picture, right? Yeah. Yeah, all of us. Like, it's everyone in the picture. It's just that the panelists and what they are sitting, and all of us are behind. Yeah. Please come in the picture if you want.
Chris, share me the video. Me too.
school in Kenya.
I live in
Oh yeah, that's a good camera.
I don't know where to look. Just look up.
Can we have a fun one? Like,
Thank you.
Thank you so much everyone for attending the session. Because we are youth, you are the driven of future. Thank you so much.
Waiting for that to change. Give it a second. I want that to be. Thank you. Hold on, wait. Thank you.